Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a noble and generous king named Harsh. He was known far and wide for his kindness. Every morning, as the first rays of the sun touched the earth, he would ride through the city in his grand chariot, carrying food for the hungry. He fed the stray dogs, helped the poor, and ensured that no saint or beggar in his kingdom slept on an empty stomach. People praised his generosity, calling him the protector of the helpless. One day, as the king was feeding the dogs, a cunning minister who was with him said, "Your Majesty, without you, these poor creatures would starve. You are their savior. Without your kindness, they would have no one." The king smiled slightly at the flattery, but just then, a saint sitting nearby burst into laughter. Surprised, the king asked, "O wise one, why do you laugh?" The saint replied calmly, "The minister's words amused me, O king. The truth is, it is not you who feed them, but the Almighty. We are mere mediums, the real giver is above us. When we give, it should be with love, not pride. Love is the language that all beings understand." Though the king remained silent, the saint's words unsettled him. Did this saint think his generosity was meaningless? His pride was hurt. Determined to prove the saint wrong, the king decided not to feed anyone the next day. The following morning, he rode out with his chariot full of food. But he did not give a single morsel to the hungry dogs or the needy people. The dogs followed his chariot, their eyes filled with hope, but he ignored them. Days passed, and the once lively dogs began to look weak and frail. The streets seemed quieter as the hungry souls wandered in search of food. Then, one day, the king spotted the same saint sitting by the roadside. With a triumphant smirk, he stopped his chariot and said, "Look, I have not fed these dogs for days. See how weak they have become? Does this not prove that I was the one taking care of them, not your so-called Almighty?" The saint smiled and asked, "Tell me, Your Majesty, have you observed how these dogs have survived?" The king scoffed, "Survived? They are barely alive. A few more days without food, and they will surely die." The saint nodded and replied, "Life and death are also in his hands. If it is written that they must suffer, then so be it. But remember, true kindness is not about proving oneself. It is about giving without expecting anything in return." The king clenched his fists. He would prove the saint wrong. The next morning, as always, he set out with his chariot full of food, but fate had other plans. Midway, the wheel of his chariot suddenly broke. The chariot tumbled, and the king fell hard onto the ground. His food basket scattered, spilling food all around. In pain, the king saw the dogs rushing toward him. For a moment, fear gripped him. Would they attack him? But to his shock, the dogs did not touch the food. Instead, they gathered around him, whining softly, licking his wounds, and standing guard as if protecting him. Just then, the saint arrived, smiling. He said, "O king, look! Even in hunger, these creatures chose love over food. They care for you not because you feed them but because they feel your presence in their hearts. Today, your wealth, your power, and your pride could not protect you, but the love you unknowingly gave came back to shield you." Tears welled up in the king's eyes. He finally understood he had given with pride, not love. He had fed to feel superior, not to serve. But love was never about ego, it was about compassion. That day, the king bowed before the saint and humbly said, "I now see my mistake. From today, I will give not out of pride but out of true kindness." From that day forward, King Harsh was a changed man. He gave without seeking recognition, and his kingdom flourished with love and harmony. True kindness is not about power or pride, it is about love. True kindness comes from the heart, not from pride. When we give, it should be out of love, not to prove our greatness. What we share with love always returns to us in unexpected ways. Wealth and power may not always protect us, but selfless love and compassion create bonds that stand the test of time.